The Chicago Bears have been aggressive this NFL offseason in the free agency time period. They've added a lot of big names. Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift, Kevin Byard. They cleared the way. They are going to add Caleb Williams, the number one prospect by far, a generational talent. But how far can this Chicago Bears team actually go this upcoming season? Is it going to be much improved? Just a little improvement? No improvement at all? That's what we're going to talk about today. We've talked about the Chicago Bears a couple times as of late. You know, the first time being Caleb Williams versus Justin Fields, but that debate is over. Justin Fields was shipped out for a conditional 4th or 6th round pick. Probably going to end up being a 6th round pick because Russell Wilson is the starter in Pittsburgh. And Caleb Williams is going to be selected number 1 and taken to the Chicago Bears. So now they have this generational prospect. They've added weapons on both sides of the ball. They improved their roster. And that's what we talked about in our last video was these additions. Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift, Kevin Byard, Jonathan Owens, Gerald Everett. These are good pieces. These are good pieces. Their roster is better on paper than it was just a season ago. Adding Caleb Williams is an upgrade from Justin Fields. Even though in my first video I said keep Justin Fields because I would rather have the trade bait of Caleb Williams. But I've always said Caleb Williams is probably going to be a better quarterback, even off rip, than Justin Fields. Now I'm fully in on this Caleb Williams thing because they did make some great moves as free agency. They have built a roster where he can succeed because the Chicago Bears are obviously not content being so bad. And I love it. I love it. You should not draft number 1 2 years in a row, okay? Unless you're named the Cleveland Browns or the Carolina Panthers. But the Carolina Panthers had trades involved. And the only reason they didn't get better is because they didn't have a winning environment around their number 1 overall quarterback, Bryce Young. They did not improve their roster. That roster, top to bottom, is not good. The culture, not good. The coaching, not good. Now, I'm still not sure about the coaching in Chicago. I think that probably could have used improvement. But everything else has been really good. I think general manager Ryan Poles has had a really good offseason. I've liked all of his moves except for the Justin Fields trade. I thought you could have at least got a 2nd or 3rd round pick out of him. You know, considering that the Arizona Cardinals picked up Desmond Ridder for Rondale Moore, who I think is worth a 2nd or 3rd rounder, as well as a pick. And Mac Jones got better than what Justin Fields is really going to get. So I don't know. I really think that there are things that they could have done better, but this team is definitely improved. You cannot say it wasn't. All right, Keenan Allen is an upgrade over Mooney. Eddie Jackson is not as good as Kevin Byard. Okay, they got younger. They added more pieces. DeAndre Swift is actually going to provide a running game, which is just a big deal for Chicago. And, of course, like I said, Caleb Williams is an upgrade over Justin Fields. I like this move a lot, but how much of an improvement are we really going to see from the Chicago Bears? Well, we got to look at a couple factors. Obviously, we just talked about their roster. It's improved. They're going to get more wins. I think that's just standard. But we also have to look at their division. They play the Vikings twice, the Packers twice, and the Lions 2 times this NFL season, as they do every NFL season. The NFC championship game was Detroit versus the Niners. Detroit looked good for most of it. Detroit's going to be a tough one. I can't consider the Bears to even squeak out one game, even though they did with Justin Fields and had a really close second game with the Lions as well. But they only got 1 win. I can't count on that happening again this season. The Packers also were a much improved team from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. And regardless, they beat the Bears at the very first game of the season and the very last game of the regular season. And they handled business. And the Packers are much improved. Josh Jacobs is now a Green Bay Packer. Xavier McKinney is now a Green Bay Packer. And that young team just got another year under its belt with a couple playoff games involved as well. So, yeah, I think the Packers, you can't really count on beating the Packers either. The Minnesota Vikings, however, I think you can. I think you can consider beating them twice because Justin Jefferson can't do everything for the Vikings. They're in trouble. All they have is Justin Jefferson, the 11th pick, and the 25th overall pick, which is not as good of a situation as having the 1st overall pick and the 9th overall pick, as the Chicago Bears do. So I can't consider the Vikings to be real better than the Chicago Bears. The Vikings got worse. They lost Alexander Madison, which wasn't a big deal anyway. They lost Danielle Hunter, not a big deal. I mean, Danielle Hunter just came off his best season, and so I just don't think the Vikings are going to be very good. So I think you can consider the Chicago Bears to not finish last in the NFC North, which is a big deal. They're going to finish third. Again, I don't think even this season they finished in the 9th spot draft order wise, which means they were the 9th worst team in the NFL. I don't think they're going to be that low, but I don't think they're going to be that much better either. They're not going to make the playoffs. I really don't think so. They're and I don't think that's what the Chicago Bears are even trying to do. Obviously, it'd be nice to make the playoffs, but you're not super worried about making the playoffs. That's not the biggest deal right now to them. Because even if they make it, they're going to be bounced first round. Oh well. The Bears, they're looking for direction. They're looking for somewhere to go. They're looking for hope. As a Chicago Bears fan, if I were a Chicago Bears fan, that's all I would want, right? I wouldn't expect the playoffs. I would just want to watch my Bears and be excited about the future, right? As an Arizona Cardinals fan, we suck a lot. Okay, I get it. I understand. And I'm not looking for us to make the playoffs next season. I'm just looking for something to get excited about, a direction, the organization to come together and be all in one direction. The Chicago Bears have already done that. They're all in on Caleb Williams. They brought in vets to help develop Caleb Williams, to have a reliable receiver in Keenan Allen, to have a running back in DeAndre Swift, to have a great defense. All right, these are winning pieces. This is what's going to help Keenan Allen, or Keenan Allen is what's going to help Caleb Williams become a top-tier quarterback. You have to have a good mentor, and who better than one of the best vets at the wide receiver position around. All right, he's had many 1,000-yard receiving years and would have many more if it wasn't for so many injuries. He knows what it takes to have a good quarterback and receiver chemistry. He can help Caleb there. Okay, and I think that's exactly what the GM, Ryan Poles, is trying to do, is just make a development stage for Caleb Williams. Get pieces that are not necessarily going to help him win a Super Bowl right now, but to be better and to give him a chance. All right, that's what Carolina is lacking. They don't have an offensive line. All right, they don't have great wide receiver pieces. Chuba Hubbard is the only thing exciting on that offense. Okay, I think they did try with Adam Thielen, bringing in a vet, just like the Bears are doing with Keenan Allen, but it doesn't quite work as well. Adam Thielen's also not the most vocal guy around, but I think this is going to be a much better situation. I think this is all the Chicago Bears fans need, and I think it's exactly what they're going to get. They're going to get better. They're going to see improvement, which is really the biggest thing, but you're going to see a direction. You're going to have a future that you're excited about. As a fan of bad sports teams, that's all we care about. That's all we need. The Cardinals just don't have that. I'm jealous. All right, I'm not sold on Kyler Murray. I don't think it's time to get rid of him yet because he could be that guy. He just hasn't been healthy. But you have a fresh start with Caleb Williams. You get to be excited about something. You get a direction. And no, you're not going to beat the Packers. No, you're not going to beat the Lions, but you're going to beat the Vikings, which is better than what you did. Okay, so improvement. And I think it's just a great piece. Obviously, this is like a 5-6 year plan. They're not going to win a ton of games this year, but they're going to build and develop Caleb Williams so that he can be the guy who leads them into the playoffs and maybe, hopefully, ultimately lead them to a Super Bowl for Bears fans. I don't care about that. But you know what I'm saying. They're just developing and improving. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They are not going to be a much improved team. They're not making the playoffs. They'll still probably draft from the 12 to 18 part of the draft next year, which isn't better, right? But we'll see. Again, they still have that 9th overall pick as well, so they're going to add more pieces. They're not done making moves yet. Chicago Bears fans, though, it is enough to be excited about, enough to have hope, and that's all you really need in this league, but not a ton of wins. But let me know what you think. Are the Bears going to be a much improved team? Are they going to win a lot more games? Are they going to finish at least second in the NFC North? I got them at third, but you let me know. And Bears fans, are you excited about your direction? Let me know.